love fluted tube pans. Nordic Ware makes a wide variety of cast aluminum in different shapes. And obviously one of my favorites is this one because you can see when you unmold the cake, it's exactly the form of a rose. And that's the beauty of the fluted tube pan. You don't have to do anything to decorate it. It creates its own decoration. These pans have a nonstick coating which help to give beautiful articulation to the designs. But this pan by Kaiser has a combination of two elements. The outside is metal, which is a good conductor, and the inside is silicone, which is a great releaser. So I think that's a pretty brilliant idea in tube pans. They only make two different shapes. Then there's Nordic Ware original, well, it's their anniversary pan that's based on the original bundt pan. And you can see that this is a larger pan. Most tube pans are 10 cups. This one is 12 cups. And if you were to bake a 9-inch cake in a pan that was too high or too big, with the same amount of batter, it would fall in the center. But you can use the same batter you would for a 10-cup pan in this 12-cup. And the reason is that you have the center support. Because you have the center support and it's metal, it conducts the heat to the center, so it bakes pretty much evenly with the sides. The way you would prepare a bundt pan is to spray it with grease and flour. I like to use the Baker's Joy because it gets into all the little nooks and crannies. But you can also use vegetable shortening and flour. And if you do, I prefer Wonder Flour because it coats a very fine, even coating. Then you just knock out the excess. But you get the most beautiful crust when you use a spray. I always rinse off afterwards because that keeps it spraying evenly for the next one. And you can see this was really nice and even, but sometimes you get some clumps and then you can just take a little brush. These days I use silicone for everything, and these brushes are great in silicone because you can put it in the dishwasher, at least the non-wood part, and then it really gets very clean. Now here's a great tip that I learned from a food stylist who's doing some of the photographs for my book. When she adds the batter to a tube pan, when she wants to get a really beautiful outside crust, she just adds about 1 inch of the batter first. Because this is the part that's the top and you don't want to see bubbles in it. And then she takes the spoon and swishes it back and forth. And that presses it into all the grooves so you don't get any little hole. Now, it's not the worst thing in the world to get a hole in the top of the cake because you don't want a cake to look like plastic either. I mean, you want it to look edible and approachable. But I think this is a really good technique. So this is the story on bundt pans or tube pans, and I think that you'll really enjoy using them for many of your cake recipes.